Well, a lift here, a lift there, a haircut, a work shift, a big summer push. It's all kind of one and the same. It's all kind of bleeding together, and time is just erasing, it feels like. I mean, summer flies by. I already knew it was going to fly by for me, but in a sense, it's flown by in such a different way, in a way that I almost didn't expect, in a way that, like, I don't know. I felt like YouTube would have a lot more time to do stuff over the summer because I wouldn't have class and stuff. The reality is, college may be the time that I'm actually more engaged in stuff than I am, back at home. Because back at home, I'm worried about chilling. I'm worried about making money with my job and stuff. YouTube, it doesn't come secondary, but it adopts a different mindset. That being said, the lifting has also fallen behind too, which is something that I really, really don't want. So I've had a big shift in my diet. I've had a big shift in the way I've been eating, trying to anticipate, okay, am I going to have extra time for a lift today? How much am I going to get done compared to normal? It's kind of like this back and forth, this give and take that I've been balancing. But I've had a lot of great lifts with Max. I've had a lot of great progress. And yesterday I was able to get about half of a target muscles day in. And I went there and I didn't even have time to record a car talk with everything. So today I'm going to. Today I'm, getting on that horse and keeping the progress up because I can't drop the ball here. I don't even feel like dropping the ball. I don't even feel like hurting my progress, but yeah, there is this weird shift. There is this weird shift in what it means to have time, what it means to be able to do creative projects, what it means to be able to manage your life when you have, such a big time responsibility. If I'm working 6-7 hour shifts on top of everything, is YouTube really there for me? Does this mean that YouTube has to be a job in order for you to fully commit to it? I don't think so. I don't think the gym even has to be a full-time commitment if you really think about it. But yeah, you're putting in at least one shift and during a whole week, a good 5-hour shift in terms of okay, maybe I'll lift for an hour 5 days a week. That's a lot of time. And if you're doing that consistently week over week, it's going to be hard to fit things in here. So, obviously I'm always preaching, obviously I'm always talking, but am I really looking at the whole of society that's doing all these things? Are gym influencers, are people online that don't really have much else to do except lift, are they really giving everyone else their fair shake? I don't know. It's not really something I reevaluated until now when, getting in the lifts is hard. Getting in a full good hour lift, really focusing on it when you have other relationships in your life and you have other jobs and responsibilities and stuff. That's hard. That's rough. And that's something, I don't want to give up. That's something I don't want to let fall by the wayside. So it really evaluates a lot of things. It really, makes me set this goal for my life of I want to work hard, but I want to earn more money and work less hours because I want to have time for other things in my life. That's the ultimate goal. Get a house and be financially stable and be able to do these amazing things, but at the same time work your way up to what's the reason I'm going to college right now? I don't want to be doing grueling labor. I don't want to be picking up trash and doing all these things, all these lowly jobs for the rest of my life. I want to be able to do something that I love, which is videography and, computers and stuff. I want to be able to do that, make a living, and not have to worry about, back-breaking putting my heart and soul into it, because at the end of the day, a job's a job. And, there's this big argument of, is being unemployed better than being employed, or vice versa? People will say, all the days you're unemployed, you're like, wow, I just have all this time. I have no money. I'm just everything's barren. I don't have this purpose. I have no financial stability. I have no, outside relationships with, friends and coworkers and stuff. I don't have this thing pushing me forward. But then there's also this flip side where the second you get employed, after one day, you're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be working shifts anymore. I don't want to be doing this. And I think that's interesting because why are we looking at things so glass half empty, In my perspective, I think the time I've spent in college and that I've been working on my schoolwork alongside doing YouTube, where I've technically been unemployed, my employment is going to school, when I haven't had, a job and I'm just focusing on my studies, I'd say that's pretty awesome. I'd say the things I've been able to do with this channel are pretty amazing. And the progress that I've gotten from that is awesome. So I think being unemployed in that respect is great. But I also had no money, and I also was sad because I couldn't really go out or enjoy all these different things. I had this like schism of opportunity where yes, I was growing, but at what cost? The cost was huge because like I had nothing. There was all these debts weighing down on me and I had nothing to pay it back. So now in the summers when I'm in this process of paying it back, being employed is amazing. Having a paycheck and being able to save for all these things and prepare for my future is amazing. And I'm so happy to be doing it, for the opportunity, for the social relationships, for the connections, all these different things. But at the same time, I also yearn for that unemployment state of like, oh well, things are a lot simpler. You're not worrying about all these like crazy responsibilities and stuff as much. It's not like if you mess up, your butt is on the line. It's not like you have all this extra time where like you lose that extra time of like, okay, well now I can't work on these personal projects like YouTube. Now I have to like be very careful with how I'm scheduling like my friendships and stuff, who I'm connecting with. It becomes this problem of balance, of really balancing. And the work-life balance, that's why people harp on it all the time, because it's so crucial. So I don't know if I really have the right answer. In my opinion, I think both are great, and I think you have to play the cards you're dealt. You have to make the most of your opportunities, and I will stick by that. I will stick by my opinion that the glass half full is the thing to look for. The looking at those opportunities and being like, not one is not better than the other. If I was more fit, I'd have these problems. If I was more heavy set, I'd have these problems. You can't really look at one thing and isolate it in a vacuum and say this is the better option. I mean, obviously there's some things that are right and wrong, but I don't know. As I've gotten older, the gray. There's something about the gray that's beautiful. There's something about the options that are not always there that make things more interesting. But that's kind of off-centered for my target muscles day. I'm going to go in there and crush target muscles, and then we'll talk more about this once we get back in the car. So, great workout, great momentum, great movement. Finished the last half that I didn't catch yesterday, and I don't know. I was really happy with things. It wasn't much at all. If anything, it was a little expedited. It was a little quickly. A big emphasis on shoulders. I did forearms. I did a little bit of back. It was kind of like arms and then my lower back that I kind of just trained out. But I was happy with how the progress was going. It's been a while since I lifted with music, and I'm kind of trying to get back into the groove of lifting with music. But also, if I'm going with Max or if I'm going with someone, I always just kind of like talking more than I like listening to music. I like listening to my breathing, and in between sets just kind of chatting a little bit with people. But I was really happy with that. I felt like everything was good this workout. But as I was saying before, we were talking about unemployment versus being employed, and I was thinking like, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you guys have jobs? You obviously don't have to tell me like what it is or whatever. No doxing or anything like that. But are you happier employed or unemployed? Because that's also another level of it. It's not about like, oh, which is better. It's about when are you more happy? Some people are just the happiest ever by doing nothing, by just like being unemployed, not having any personal projects, just vibing, just living, just like their dream is to live out the rest of their days on a beach and just eat sandwiches and just kind of chill and just kind of exist. And I don't know if that's really furthering society, but I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm not going to hate on anyone's dream. If your dream is to be totally just like in the clear, just chilling for the rest of the time, I'm down with that. I mean, I'm down with whatever your vision is, as long as you holistically embody it. As long as you're like, you own it. You're like, yeah, that's me. That's the type of future that I envision for myself if I can get there. But I know some people, their passion is like not that. Their passion is not working for a means to an end. The passion is the working, and it is kind of like that grind and that love of it. I think I'm more in that camp area. Like, yes, like I was talking about earlier, I want less time. I want to make my work more purposeful, but I want to have my passion behind my work, and I kind of want to have that. Although, I don't know. It's when I'm working on like YouTube and working on all these different personal projects, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm unemployed, even though I'm not making like a super thick income. Like YouTube is actually now paying me just a little bit of money. Nothing that's like anywhere close to what an actual job earns me by putting in shifts. But it's to the point where it's like I'm fully realizing this idea now that like, oh, if I keep up YouTube and you guys keep liking the stuff and I keep making my things better, well then that actually could become some sort of a part-time job that I can kind of fully commit to. And that's just kind of the dream for me, because that's the side of videography that I actually get to explore day to day. And I'm not to that stage in my life yet where like I'm reaching out for jobs on Indeed or other sites like that where I'm searching for that videography stuff, and I'm still saving up for a camera. So like maybe I can make things a little bit more official once I have like actual equipment and different stuff like that. But also, grassroots stuff. I don't have to have a camera to be making videos like this, and I don't. I made literally hundreds of videos at this point. I don't know if it's 150 yet, but it's like somewhere in that range of like, yeah, I've been making content like crazy this past year, making videos and trying to improve different stuff like crazy. Obviously, it's for the sake of YouTube. It's not necessarily any like filmmaking techniques or anything, or like any social media marketing type strategy for a business or anything like that. That's a different thing to get into like a better job field. But yeah, which one brings you more happiness? Unemployment or employment? Do you embody that sense of purpose and work is like this driving force for you? Or is your dream to live out the rest of your days chilling, carefree, totally engrossed in whatever personal family drama you have, rather than like a deep-rooted work problem that you need puzzle-solving skills to kind of get around? Different strokes for different folks. I mean, brain chemistry is totally different between so many different kinds of people. So it's not fair or even correct, for that matter, to just like say this one overrides the other. It's really just like, I don't know. I think that's so interesting. I don't know if you guys latch onto that, but like every homie in the audience, like I'm so curious about like the brain, like the is this good, is this kind of bad? Because I don't know, when I'm talking to people, I like picking their brain. I like seeing what makes them tick. I like when people go on passionate rants. Like, I don't care if it's about something I don't understand. Like, if I'm if I'm talking to a random girl coworker and she goes on a rant about makeup, I don't really care about makeup. I don't really understand makeup. I don't need to understand it. It's not something that like really, I keep disconnecting whenever I get home. But if I see someone that is like super passionate about what they're talking about and actually has drive and thought and like theory and love behind what they're doing, I don't really care what it is. I talked about this forever ago with my friend David on a video that we did on the channel, and I don't know, I always come back to that idea because I've said it in videos before about how much I love passion, but like I just can't overstate it. Like, for everyone in my audience, for everyone, who doesn't even watch my YouTube stuff, for people in general, I don't know. I just eat that up. It's what drives me. It's what excites me. It's what gets me passionate for videos, is because the stuff I'm talking about, I'm all in on this thing. Like, I'm all in on most of what I do in life. And that's something I really pride myself on, and it's something that I really had to grow into. But when I see people grow into their loves, it just works me up. It just gets me excited. But that's besides the point. I appreciate you guys watching the lift and kind of talking about things. Let me know. That's the main point of this video. Let me know. Shoot me a comment. Shoot me a DM if you want it to like be separate. I have a TikTok. I have an Instagram. I have all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. Tell me what you're passionate in. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.